Well, hello, world. It's Tom Guns coming at you for a little bit here on a Saturday night. I just want to let everybody know a few things. I think people mostly know about the fight that we're in, good versus evil, right? That's what it is. So that's where we are. Everybody can talk about conspiracy theories and, odd stuff. That's funny. But when you really understand what's happening in the world right now, it's good versus evil, period. So I just want to let everybody know that that's a fact. Good versus evil. It's Star Wars, the dark side. It's the light, on the good side of it. It's a Jedi, that has the Force with him. That's what it is. And to be honest, it's you know the dark side. See how Luke's father, you know, went to the dark side, right? So he joined the dark side. So that's what's happened. Um, there's plenty of people who have joined the dark side. It's right in front of our face, but no one wants to really recognize the whole truth of that, and they want to like hide behind stupid things that don't even really matter. The truth of it all is that's it's good versus evil. That's what it always is. It's what it is. It's going to continue to be that way, and we have to fight it. Don't lay your sword down and run away. God never said to do that. He said to pick up your sword. And he said to sell your linens, to buy a sword if you have to fight. Well, most people don't understand that stuff. And they don't understand the fact that the banks were involved back then. That's what's crazy. They were involved then. When Jesus kicked him out of the temple, that's 2 weeks later, that's when they crucified him. So, see, we're going through this all over again. Dude, I mean, how many people out here realize that we're doing this all over? So there's nothing new under the sun. The technology is old technology that we've had for a long time, and people are thinking it's something crazy new, right? Think about time. Think about what's happened over time with horse and carriage and you know all that stuff. So you know, hey Stacy, good, glad you came in here. All the support I can get is great. But think about that. Think about where we went from 100 years, 120 years ago, or whatever. We didn't have nothing. Now we have all this space technology. We went to the moon. We done all this stuff. We're at Mars. Right? I mean, when World War II started in the 30s, right? We were flying planes with prop engines. How did we go from that to jets to rockets to space to we land on the moon? Uh, Come on, you know, think about logical things. So it just people don't have any sense anymore, and they've lost all because they've been so programmed to believe all this stuff and lied to forever. So, and Stacy, she's got I love her because she's staying on the issues of freedom with the Bundys and the Hammonds and everything like that, which is awesome. Um, I follow it. I stay on it. I've stayed on it since it ever started. But it made me realize more how unfree we are. We're not free. This wouldn't be happening to these people. These are good, God fearing people that are hardworking and actually what's the words? They actually contribute to society more than many out there do, and they have good family ethics and stuff like that. They're raising their children well, you know. Those things are being lost in our society, and we're losing that. That's going to be taken away because what we have to realize is that they're moving towards an alternate reality, which is, microchips, transgender, everything else. It's all on our face. If we don't wake up to it and see that we have to, look out and figure out how we're going to get out of all this stuff. Because the people running this stuff are evil. They don't care. They want to take over everybody. That's how they're going to do it. Through chips, through, all that stuff. And so we have to realize that. So I'd love to talk to Stacy anytime she's in the chat room. She's the only one here, which is amazing. So anybody else wants to come in, come in and say something. But I love good people who have an understanding and they care about things like this. So they're actually doing something about it. They're actually making a difference and speaking out and standing tall, and those things are important to me as a human being because our children's futures are at risk here. The babies are my grandchildren. I think about that. And actually, I think about that, and it hurts me thinking that they're not going to have a future because we're already slaves. So how much more enslavement can there be? Well, think about it. Think about the iris scans and the mark of the beast, basically. That's what you're dealing with here. Let's not beat around the bush. I mean, this is real stuff. So we need to talk about it openly and not attack people for their beliefs and stuff either. So people do that all the time. I'm like, don't do that. It's wrong. Don't attack. Just hear what they have to say. If you disagree, disagree. Move forward with your objective. My objective is to get people to understand there's a spiritual battle, and we are in a huge fight, and it's amazing actually what we're living is amazing for me. But that's my opinion. But I believe, yes, that definitely it's a spiritual battle. We are in it right now. We have to pray out. We have to stand with righteousness. We have to do the right thing. Otherwise, we're not going to make it through, the other side. So I just want to come on here for a minute and talk to everybody that, is here, because there are people here and they will listen, and people will listen later, and they probably will come to the conclusion that I'm probably right. It really is a spiritual battle. We really are fighting these principalities, that are evil, and we're just, facing this now, and we're going to go through all this. And I guess for the average person, or whatever reason, they don't understand, but I do understand what's happening. It's coming, So we're not far off of this. Each day when you look at what's happening, in the world with the news and the, blah, 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 just look at it all. Look at how we fund ISIS. Look at how we, the caliphate. Look at, when you start looking into all these things, you start realizing, hey, this is a bigger picture than all that. It's bigger than all that. It's God. I mean, this is, things that are the technology that we're using today were something of the past, in my opinion. It's something of the past. We had all that. That's why God wiped the flood of the earth, try to get rid of it. So people need to understand. I can't make anybody understand that, but I wish they could understand that, because then we could actually move forward as humanity and understanding of what God did and why he did it and everything else. And then we could prevent that, because this nation right now is not under God at all. It's a bunch of Luciferian, Satanistic, child molester, pedophiles, narcissistic, narcissist. I could go on and on and on. That's all. That's what it is, and that's the honest truth. So until we can move past the dark side, we're never going to get to the light that they say they call themselves illuminated. Oh, really? Illuminated with what? You know? What are they illuminated with? Because they can drink children's blood? I mean, you know, and think they're going to live forever and merge with machines? Come on, guys. It's all out there. So, you know, everybody should see it. And I get frustrated when people don't even understand the basics, like, you know, just your GMO food, for God's sake. You know, you're eating pesticides and they're modified, and who knows what it's doing to you. So, oh, it's no big deal, you know. Well, it's a big deal to me. I don't want to eat that shit. You know, I want to eat something God gave me. So it's not messing with my genetics. It's not messing with me. People don't read. They don't study. They don't do research. They don't look into anything. All they do is exist with their video games and their Pokemon, and they, I mean, literally run off cliffs, you know, chasing a Pokemon to their death. Okay? Is that the world we really live in? Are you serious? Are you serious? So yeah, that's a true fact. You know? Run out in front of cars because you're trying to get a Pokemon? What in the freaking world are you doing? You know? Why aren't you outside playing in the dirt or playing with your brother or sister? You know? What's up with that? Where is society going? Down the toilet through technology, which is personally, I believe, is through the dark side. So, I mean, if anybody wants to come on here, that's great. I have no problem. I want people to come on, actually, talk to people, except for myself, you know. But that's the kind of thing that we're at now, where, you know, we have to wake up to it soon, because if we don't, it's all over with. All this technology is going to take over completely, and people are going to be complete cyborgs, and they're going to be completely zombies because they're going to control everything. You don't have, where's free will? You know, what happened to that? You know what I mean? Where's it gone? So that's what I want people to answer. What are you going to do about being free anymore? When you have no free will, we have no free will. Look at what they're doing to freedom of speech. Look at the, you know, First Amendment zones or whatever. Look at that. How ridiculous is that? Don't you realize all this is happening now? It's all happening now. So if people don't realize that, they're going to miss out because they're not going to be ready for what's happening now. It's not happening later. It's going on now. If you got 10 more years to live in your life, you're going to experience a lot of this stuff. And they're going to start rolling it out. And look at the mosquitoes, genetically modified mosquitoes. What are you going to do with that? You know, you're going to sterilize people. So that's a depopulation agenda. You know, Agenda 31, you know, or Agenda 21, whatever you want to call it, Agenda 30, whatever you want to call it. It's the same Georgia Guidestone type of shit that they're projecting. You know what I mean? So they want to, you know, get rid of the population. They want to. They're talking about universal, you know, income where everybody makes a little bit enough to be a sheep. You know, then they'll brainwash you with everything else, and you'll just be done. You know, and it's a sad, sad state of affairs when people can't realize that, because they're going down that road voluntarily and not standing for themselves. You know? So it's just it really is upsetting to see all this, and to witness that people don't want to stand and don't want to show who they are, as far as, you know, being committed to freedom. What the heck, It's like the Ammons, or Ryan Bundy and Ammon Bundy and all the Bundy family and all those other people. They committed themselves, Lavoy Finicum, for God's sakes, okay, to freedom, to the right thing. What happened? People need to understand that. If every American citizen could actually wrap their head around what happened and how it happened and do all the research we do and understanding that we have of it, like, Stacy and everybody else here, then you would understand how upside down everything is. Absolutely would. And then it brings you to, the understanding, at least for me. I went all the way to the bottom of the rabbit hole, and I found out that, hey, this is just a big game. It's good versus evil. That's what it is. It's a big game. And so, and I went even beyond that. But that was just me. I had to go. I have to find the truth. I have to find the truth. If I have to go all the way to the bottom or whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it. And if I have to fight these evil, wicked people, I will do that too. And I'm trying to do it now. I just don't have enough resources, time. I don't have time and knowledge even to do videos that I would like to do. I'd like to show everybody all that stuff in videos so they can just see it for themselves. So, it's like, I'm not just saying it, I'm showing it to you. Now you can see what I'm telling you is real, But, so that's a whole nother deal. I'm hoping I can get better at doing that stuff in the future. But I'm busy. I work. I have family. So, yeah, that's part of the problem. They keep you so busy that you can't even focus on anything else in the world. You come home, you take a shower. Most people don't. Whatever. Get something to eat. Watch the boob tube. Your television programming, indoctrination hour, and then you go to sleep. Then you get up and you go to work again. Well, that's exactly what you do. So they've got you right where they want you. But you don't. I mean, what is up with that? Why can't people understand that? They're using you in the excuse me, the tax money that they collect off of you is unconstitutional. It does not apply for your, labor. So that's an equal contract. I mean, when you go mow someone's grass, you mow it for $25, or $50, or whatever. You use your arms, your muscles, your mind, your thoughts, your this, to do the job right, and they give you the $50. That's an equal and fair contract. The government doesn't do that to you because you're born into a contract. I understand that. You are a number. When your mother signed your birth certificate, she signed you over to the government or the corporation, excuse me, of the United States of America. So you're kind of effed right off the bat. Now, how do you fix that? How do you figure out how to not be a number and not be owned by a corporation? I mean, can anybody give me any answers? Because I'm waiting, because no one can answer my questions a lot of times. Well, what's up with that? Why? What can we do about that? Your Social Security number makes you a part of a corporation, and they're using your Social Security number too. Just so you know. When's this going to stop? How much longer do we have to let these people run our lives and control us? We are slaves. People do not understand that. You're a slave. Me, you, everybody else, because there's bars you can't see, but it's bars that are there with all the taxation, all the regulation, all the everything else that they do to us is slavery. We are slaves. God, I wish people could understand that. When is someone going to go, I realize I'm a slave, this is a bad deal, they're effing me over, and I shouldn't have to do this? I should be free. I shouldn't have to pay, income tax and all that shit. And property tax. Another effed up thing, you know? That's not in the Constitution. You don't have to pay on your property. Once you own it, you bought it, you own it, or you claimed it. Back in the day, you claimed it property. But if I paid for it, I don't need to pay taxes on that property anymore. I already paid you all your taxes when I bought it. So, I've witnessed right here in Florida a person commit suicide or fight the cops. Well, it was death by cops. It was death by them. They shot him and killed him on his front porch over property tax. They were going to remove the guy. He owned the place. It was a piece of crap trailer, but he had a roof over his head, instead of being homeless. And they came in there and told him he had a pistol on the porch, laying on the floor. And he reached for it, and I get it. But the guy committed suicide by cop. And if I was a cop and he reached for the pistol, I'd probably shoot him. But I understand that. But the problem is, he should have never been put in that situation because he owned the property, but he couldn't afford to pay the property tax. So his whole death was over that, which is ridiculous. I was on my way to work that morning, and helicopters are flying, the roads are all blocked off. When I found out what happened, I was like, what? Over property tax? Oh, okay. Well, what happened to 3%, man? When we went to war over, 3% T-tax or whatever. What the freaking hell's going on now? You know why? Because of technology. All these people are into technology so much that they cannot get out of that realm. They're just so comfortable with it and so manipulated by it that they're not going to fight back or anything. They're not saying anything. They're going to go along with it. Like, well, what's a new next best technology? I can see into the future. I can make these things appear in front of me. I can, manipulate that. And in real time, that's the stuff that's going to come to fruition here soon. And I guess I believe that totally, but I guess some people don't. But I'm just going on what I believe, man. It really is coming down to the end times. I believe we don't have a lot of time left. The stuff we're messing with right now with the DNA and the transhumanism and the artificial intelligence and everything else that's happening is crazy. Chemtrails, everything else, it's all there. It's all there for everybody to see. Whether you're willing to see that or not is up to you. So you have to make a decision. Research yourself. Do your own due diligence. I did. I looked into everything for years. I'm not new at this. So I came out when they killed the boy. Is when I first made my first video, I think, after they killed the boy, or around that time, because I was so upset about what happened that I had to speak out. But I've always had these thoughts. I've always, it's been, a long time that I feel and think what I think for a reason. That hasn't changed. It's just that I'm more open about it now because I know they already know who I am. So they already know. Think about it. All the data they collect, they already know all about that. So I'm already on the red list or whatever list, so that's all fine. So I don't really care about that, but because I know where I'm going to go anyway, so I'm not worried about that. But they already do. They already collect all that information and have it. So they'll probably, categorize my opinion in the future or what I say as a threat. I don't care. This is all real stuff, and everybody's like forgetting about how real all this is. It's all real. Why are people denying this stuff? Why are people not talking about it? More people need to talk about it. They need to be open about transhumanism, transgenderism. Look, let's talk about all that stuff. Where are we headed in the future? We're done for if we don't straighten ourselves out. I'm telling you, it's over. People are going to be done. It's the Georgia Guidestones on steroids, and they've got mosquitoes now flying around that bite you and you're sterile. According to some reports, I don't believe all that necessarily because I haven't confirmed that. But what I do is I do spend my due diligent time in my research on topics that I really am concerned with. And a lot of them are the geoengineering is one of the biggest ones right off the bat because they're doing all that. They're doing all this other modified stuff. They're artificial intelligence, all those things right there are at the top. It's not what's going on with your neighborhood association. It's what they're going to do to you in the future. The technology is real, and they will use it. They won't, hold back on that. I don't think at all. So I think they're going to use it all, and they're going to roll it out pretty much systematically, like a little at a time, but they'll roll it out to where it clicks. So they're going to try to do that. You have to realize we are in a war against these Luciferian, demonic, what's the word? Just evil people that want to take over everything. And we're the people on the good side, but we're too easy on them. We don't do enough against them because we're not like that. We don't really do that. We're not cutthroat. We don't want to, trash these people. So we try to be good. Well, I try to be good. But at this point, what choice do you have now? When you get to the end of the line where it's you or them, you have to make a decision, and it's either us or them now. So we have to make a decision as a race, us or them, and it might as well be an alien race because they're alien to justice. They're alien to the real light of the real side. They say they're illuminated, the elite. They're illuminists, right? Well, that's what they claim to do. They have the light, so they're better than everybody, and we're the sheep, and they're these people, wonderful light, and all this stuff. Okay, that's a bunch of BS. Okay, anybody who buys that, I don't, whatever, go ahead, but I don't buy it at all. They're a bunch of freaking Satans. They're worshiping the dark side. I'm not there. I know a lot of my friends don't do that. I know they're on the righteous side of things, and that's where we need to be. So it's just amazing to have these thoughts in my head. Like, how can people really buy into that? I just don't understand. Like evolution, or we're apes, and apes just kind of evolved into being humans. No, they don't. The apes are still apes. Apes are still apes. They still make apes. Monkeys still make monkeys. Cats still make cats. Dog makes dogs. Really, really, are people that fucking lost? Excuse my language. Because if you're that lost, there's something really wrong with you. Okay? Because, apes produce apes. The Y, the chromosomes, see, we know certain things like that. But my whole life, I've always seen monkeys make monkeys and apes make apes. We didn't come from apes or whatever. It's bullshit. You know? How can someone believe in that? We didn't do that. Every species was created. Now, if God wanted to wipe it out like He did in the days of Noah, because we were corrupted by the technology, from the fallen angels. Well, what are we going through again? The same thing. There's nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself. It's happening again. I believe. If anybody doesn't want to believe me, that's fine. Take your own opinion. But I believe that that's what's going on. The technology. Think about what it takes to build a pyramid of its size, and the precision that was put into that. The holes that were drilled that are perfectly symmetrical. I mean, down to the millimeters. Down to beyond micromillimeters. Where it's perfect. And you can look all the way through that. How did they do that back then? They didn't have a chisel. They didn't have a hand tool. How did they make that happen? So people need to wake up, So I wish I had someone else on here with me, because I have to take a leak. I have to go see a man about a meal real quick, but maybe Linda just popped in here. Maybe whoever, anybody who wants to come on, just come in the chat and tell me, invite me or whatever, and I'll invite you. Excuse me. But I really like to talk to people and see what people think. What you're thinking about this. Where do you think we're going? Oh, look, Fox, man, wow. What's up, man? Good to see you. Wow. All right, well, give me a second, man. I want to invite you guys in here if you want to come in. Especially you, Fox. I haven't talked to you in a long time, and Linda, and anybody else. What you can do an open panel if you want to. So, if you guys are willing, but if not, I'll just keep rambling on and telling you the truth. Yeah. That's good to see. Yeah. All right, guys, hang on just a second. Talk for a minute in the chat, and I'll be right back. I gotta see a man about me. Okay, I'm back, guys. Let's see, I'm looking in chat. Randy's here. Red and Freedom, man. Miss talking to him. Miss talking to everybody. Really do. Fox, Miss talking to you and seeing how you're doing. I mean, I know we're a close net type of people. We should be. And I don't. He doesn't have a wrench. Let's see if I can take care of that right now. All right, there you go. Fox, your moderator. If you ever in my channel, man, you see some stupid stuff, take care of it. I know you will. But if Linda, if you want to come on, or Forever Freedom, let me know. Just give me a yes or whatever, and I'll send you a invite, and we'll talk for a minute. It doesn't have to be long. We can just do a quick thing. But I love you guys. I'm glad you're here. So you're awesome. We just have to stand together, guys. We can't not be apart. got you, Linda. Like, what is he saying? But you know, that's what we have to do. So we realize that what's happening is happening right now. Look at all this stuff, right? The Bundys, the Ammons, the this, the that, this. We get involved in all this stuff, right, in our minds, and we're thinking about, you know, all this stuff, and they're really confusing us. They're trying to. So an overload of information. But what they're going to do is they're going to use some kind of catastrophic thing, like they always have, to try to get us to chip ourselves or chip, you know, digital currency, Bitcoin. They got, see, all this is going on now, and this is all biblical, though. That's what people don't understand. This is actually biblically real, what it's already been told to you. And so when you realize that, then you're like, oh shit, you know, hey, this stuff's real, man. Wow, you know. But I'm gonna add a couple people here real quick because I really I sound like an idiot. I was talking about all this stuff by myself. I like interaction, so I want to invite a few people. Let's see if we can do that. Come on. Wow, they don't want me to do that, do they? That's crazy. Huh. There we go. Usually, super small too. They changed that. I'm going to. There we go. Guys are invited, so see if you jump in here real quick. We can talk for a minute. There's Linda. My bestest of friends. What's up? You're Linda?
Okay.
All
right. Here. I don't know if you can. I don't know how my stream's gonna.
No, you're good.
Flow.
I hear you. I hear you. Good, loud and clear.
Okay. Amazing.
Hey, you're loud and clear tonight. Let me see if I can turn you up a little bit. See,
I can turn me up.
I can turn you up too. I can turn you up too. Oh, isn't that funny? Oh, isn't that funny? Okay, back. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to adjust. Hold on. Shouldn't be anything in the background right now. I'm still hearing myself for some reason. I'm still hearing myself for some reason. Huh, that's weird. Alright, let's do that. So what's going on? Everything okay?
Yeah.
They're just talking about like you know, with Trump and stuff. Talking about like you know, with losing their daggone minds because I think they don't realize he's trying to help. You know what I mean? They don't realize he's.
Oh no! I think about Trump.
Oh, we talked about it.
Kind of.
Oh, Go ahead.
I'm not real happy with anything.
Yeah, no.
I hate to say it, but it's looking more and more like he's just part of the whole little chess game. Doesn't know it. He may not know it yet.
I don't know why that is. They are playing this game, which they've been playing for a long time. Trump, yeah, they were surprised that he was elected. They figured Hillary would be elected, so they would be right on the same scan. But
Yeah.
that kind of messed things up. So they threw a wrench in everything. And I don't know Trump because I don't talk to Trump because I don't know my buddy Trump. I don't really know what are you doing, but what are you doing? But it seems like to me that he had good intentions, that he never expected to win, and they didn't expect him to win either. And so they threw him in there, and now they're controlling him basically. And now they're telling him, you can't do this, you can't do that. But he has fired people. He has made changes. But I'm with you on it. I know it's a bigger agenda around the whole thing. It's beyond the president. It's been like that for years.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen. Don't
Well, you know it's been like that for years.
contemplate. I know.
So basically, nothing's changed except for we have a guy in there that may be able to do something, try to do something, but they're going to block him at every avenue. He's not going to be able to change it. So maybe to a certain degree, but it's not. The people that hold the power are still holding the power. It's not changing. Because you have to get rid of the whole. You have to get rid of everything. There's no way to fix that. So basically, the only thing you do is just get rid of everybody and start all over again because Congress is totally screwed. The people in the Senate they're all corrupt. They're all involved in the same crap.
We know that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
So
drastic.
how are we gonna fix this problem? I mean, we can't fix it if all these same people are still in power, in positions of power. Now, I know Trump's trying to drain the swamp and whatever, but he's only, you can only get one person at a time. Hillary's still running around free. Clinton foundations, there's no investigation, anything.
People are still dying.
Yeah, they're still dying. The chef that was, the White House's chef just died. The note in his pocket saying call Larry Nichols, whatever. So, look.
Oh no! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He said to call Larry Nichols. Oh.
Yeah, and it was a note in his pocket. He was found in a ravine where he went hiking, and he was gone for like a long time. His girlfriend called and said he was missing, and they went and found him in a lake, drowned. Well, the message in his pocket. I don't know if that's even true, but all I know is this all is a bunch of bullshit, and I'm sick of it. I want to know the truth about stuff.
There is a way to stop it. There's a way to stop it. There's a whole machine to a grinding halt. But everybody, well, not everybody, but most everybody would have to do it. And that's to not buy anything, no
Right?
gas,
Don't
no
go to
food,
work. Don't
just
pay
fucking
taxes.
have a
Right?
damn
Don't go to work.
shut it down.
Shut it down. Don't go to
Down.
work. Don't pay your taxes. Don't do anything. Don't go to work. And then what the hell are they going to do?
They're gonna shit. That's what they're gonna do.
Because they got no slaves. No, the slave just went on strike. You know what I'm saying? We're not effing doing your stuff.
And we are slaves to the fucking crown when it comes right down to it. Still.
Yeah, we still are. We never
As soon as we get that birth certificate, security number, bam, you're just a cow with a number on it.
Exactly. And that's how they see us. But I mean, I've been looking into some.
We're not even free.
Yeah. No, we're not free. Some of the stuff that's been going on with
the law, it's crazy. There is no common law. We're not free people.
No, it's not a republic neither. We don't live in a free society. We are not free. And if people would realize they're not free peoples, maybe things would change, but they're not. They're just giving you an illusion that you're free, but you're not free. It's invisible bars that we're all living under, and we need to wake up to that. Because if we don't wake up to what they're doing now, it's going to get incredibly more severe as far as the prisons that they're putting you in. Because we've been in that for hundreds of years, probably thousands, really. We never let it. Even when we seceded and separated from England, we still weren't free. They still had a monetary setup involved in all that for the money. So, see, money.
Don't forget the Vatican.
The Vatican, all of it. It's all there. Saying we were never really free, so we are all slaves to a system. It's a beast system where it's all the dark side.
It is.
All of the dark side. It's all the dark side. And they keep on going on and going on, pushing their dark agenda, the transhumanism, transgender, be whatever gender you want to be, and everything else they're doing. It's all of the dark side. It really is. It's all of the dark side. You have to realize that. You know, if I can call myself a whatever.
Well,
it's all yours. And did I lose you? I wanted to hear Linda go on a roll about the dark side or whatever. Yeah. I think she realizes it, so I just want other people to realize it and be able to, come on here and say what it is, man. It's the dark side. She dropped off, so, but she'll probably pop back in. And anybody else who wants to pop in, just come in the chat room. Now, if you want to come in here, and let me know, and I will invite you, to come on. So I just want to talk openly, not argue. I don't want to argue with people about nothing. Everybody wants to argue all the time. It's not me. I just want to explore the reality that we live in, because it is a reality of, hey, things are wrong in this world, really, really bad. And we need to figure out what it is and how to fix it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to come back.
Oh, that's fun. That's funny. They must know I'm in a really rare mood tonight. I'm not a happy camper. They get triggered easy. You can't say shit like let's all just not go to work and and not spend money or get money or.
They hate that. Don't go to Walmart. Don't go to Walmart.
Fit in that hellhole. I wouldn't go in Walmart if fucking we had only water on earth. I would not. I'd die.
So that's the greatest thing you can do.
Everybody's
right now. That's the greatest thing you can do. Fight them with their own fuel. Because if you fuel them, you're giving them gas. So you don't want to give them gas. You want to give them gas. So you don't want to give them fuel. That's where I'm at now. Don't give them any kind of fuel. That's where I'm at now. Don't give them any kind of fuel. Ride, burn that fuel out. Burn them out. And you lose. That's the thing about it, man. I think that people don't understand how big of a deal this is. I really don't. Just don't understand how big of a deal it is. It's basically what this is. It's the end. It's either the end of humanity itself, or it's a new beginning for humanity to take back what's theirs. And I think that's what has to happen. I think humanity has to take it back. If we don't take it back now, we're going to lose it. And we won't have it. And it talks about it in Revelation. All about the reprieve and all that. So for so many years, months, can't remember exactly. I'm not expert at that, but it does say that. And so I know that. There is a reprieve, and we could have a reprieve right now to slow down what's happening right now.
sorry.
So I think.
Wait a minute. Is Randy in here? Is Randy?
Randy's not in the room. He's in the chat. I invited him.
Showing him. It's showing him on the call.
Well, I invited him.
Oh, I'm echoing.
I invited him. I invited him. So I don't know why he's not here, but he was in the chat room. Yep. 7-7 was in there. Fox, which was amazing to see him around. So that was good.
Where did he?
Huh?
Fox go?
I don't know. He was here, and he's not here now. He's not in the chat anymore, but he was here. So that was cool. I'd like to have him back. Okay. So now we got Randy back here. We got Aaron back.
Cool.
I don't know. It's just hard for me to realize I don't know what's going on through other people's minds, but in mine, it's just all a trickery thing. And the reality that we see is not reality. They're just manipulating it all. And so they're just messing around. With all these wars, all the killing, all the stuff. You have to really take that in your heart. I do. I mean, how many people we kill? Not we, but our money, taxpayers' money, has spent on Al Qaeda or whatever. ISIS. We fund these people. Why? So they can go kill.
From what I understand, there's actually aircraft, U.S. aircraft headed towards Japan right now. I don't know.
I don't think. I know. I saw that, but Actually, no, I don't believe that. I totally don't believe that.
I don't know. I don't know.
See, I don't believe it. I don't believe that. And if there is, I'll find out tomorrow morning, okay, or tonight. I'll find out. Maybe we bomb somebody or whatever. But I honestly don't believe that. It's just more misleading information that people are going to go with, and they're going to think, "Oh, and then they're going to find out nothing happened, and there you go. So then that's over.
Well,
right?
That's the way it is these days, though. I don't know who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody earlier. You don't even know what's damn or fake. It's so hard to tell anymore. It's crazy.
Well, how do we know?
Like, you don't have enough to worry about without trying to figure out what the fuck is real and what's not.
Exactly. But if there's our aircraft flying bombers, over there right now, I think I would already know. I mean, I really think I would know that was real. I don't think that's real at all. But, and if it is, it wouldn't be public. Okay? No one's going to know that. They're not going to tell us that. All right, we're going to fly bombers over, they're going to put it on social media. No, that's cool.
I don't know what kind of aircraft it was. I don't know.
A bomber, an F-18 or whatever bomber, going to fly to North Korea and do whatever. Okay, so there's no way I can know that, and I can't prove that at all. It's just hearsay. So anybody who says that, it's just hearsay. I can't prove that. How do I know? I don't have a radar on the detector on the bomber where I know it's flying. It's heading in that direction at this longitude, latitude, da 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 da. I have no idea that. So I would be an idiot to say I knew something. You don't know, and you don't know. And when people predict those things, it's just more hype about whatever. Like, okay, we're going to bomb this person. We're going to fly aircraft over here. It's propaganda, and people buy into it all the time.
Surely little Kim is not that stupid. I mean, we know he's stupid, but I just don't see him making the first strike. I think he's a little pussy.
No, he is. It's not. John McCain's an idiot, and all these other people are idiots too. In our government, but here's the thing: there's people above that are basically saying, "Hey, well, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to convince the American people that we have to go to war. We're going to threaten them, scare them. We're going to, just like they did on 9/11. We're going to blow the towers up.
Well, that's the same old shit they always do.
Right. So it's nothing new.
Same old game.
Same old shit. Right. Same old game, same old shit. And people buy into that shit. And they believe it's real. But it's not. It's a fucking it's a false reality that people live under. And they believe that this is all for them and they're going to save them or something. The government ain't going to save you. They're going to kill you. They're going to fucking kill you. They don't care about you or nobody else. Why do you think they killed 3,000 people on 9/11? They fucking killed all those people. Because they didn't give a shit about that. Oh, well, let's get the people out we care about. So don't go to work tomorrow, bro. The fucking building's gonna come down. You know what I mean? Oh, that's what happened. It's that simple, right? Don't go to work. You're gonna die tomorrow. If you go to work, you're gonna die. So stay home. So people stayed home. Well, guess what happened? They lived. Guess what happened to people who didn't stay home and were just a bunch of sheep that they considered as a bunch of sheeple and cattle? They fucking died. 3,000, more than that. 10,000 probably now, because of all the stuff they had to breathe and everything else they were exposed to, those people are dying of cancer and dead. Yet, nobody seems to fucking care. It doesn't. Nobody. It's amazing to me. People are absolutely amazing. I just can't wrap my head around it because they're freaking so committed to the government. Oh, there's no way they could have done that. The government couldn't have done that. Oh, blah 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 all fucking day. When really, what they have to understand is, yes, they did do it, and they killed all those people for their benefit, not for ours, not for our money or whatever. They killed 3,000 people that day. Actually, a little more than that. For their money that they went and hid. The 2 trillion, whatever it was, the day before, is gone.
That building was for sale. That it wasn't anything to them. They wanted to get rid of it anyway.
So what? So if you're
both of the
normal
towers
human being, and you understand that Building 7 fell on itself, they both collapsed, they shouldn't have, blah blah blah. Understand 9/11, understand all stuff. And how can you sit back and just be normal? You can't be normal. You cannot do it. I can't. I cannot sit back and go, oh, everything's just freaking fine. Don't worry about anything. Government's here to save you. Now, blah blah blah. No, there's no way I could do that. I would shoot myself in the head first before I could ever do that. I would kill myself because that's an absolute.
Yeah, I'm not normal either.
It's ridiculous, and to try to tell people of the world, my fellow humanitarians, or whatever you want to say, my fellow humans, that this is what happened when it's a complete freaking lie and killed all these people. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say they killed everybody. Look, this is what happened. They're fucking lying. They killed everybody to unite the nation, to fight, to go to war with Iraq, that's what they did. And it's a simple thing, but no one can see it. Why? Why is it so hard for you and others? I know you see it, but people like that, that maybe can't understand it. Like if you're trying to tell them, hey, look, wake up, man, wake up. You're trying to tell them, but yet they can't see it. They cannot see the truth. The truth is, it's all bullshit. It's all was done by design. They killed thousands of people on purpose, by design. It's not a mistake. It's not an accident. Not. I mean, Bin Laden didn't. Come on. Right? The guy's living in the cave on dialysis. He's gonna orchestrate 9/11 and kill all these people, fly planes in the building. So if people believe that, then it's like, all right, well, okay, fine, believe it. But your damn stupid ass doesn't realize how far we are down this hole. And it's not a matter of, for me,
but
it's a matter of. Go ahead.
Fluoride, they're eating the shitty food, they're getting sprayed. We've got freak that to worry about. With coming. I mean, they're busy the dollar all day. They come home, they eat, they're tired, they get on their top, whatever, and they go to bed and they get up and they do it all over again. I hate on a wheel. I have time for it. And if you talk to them about it, then you're just, that's what they call me, different. I got there fucking different. I'm tired of talking to people. I'm tired of telling people shit. I'm just tired. Nobody cares. They don't disable you. I'm just over it. They want to stay asleep. Leave them the fuck asleep. When the shit hits the fan, they're gonna die. It's less people we gotta worry about having to
Well,
go.
they're not going to make it to my house.
So I'm not trying to going
I
out
got
of my way to educate people anymore. Out here in the real world, you know, Google and stuff. You can actually find people that are open. I hate to be that way, but this is the way I am now. Next person that calls me different is going to get popped in the eye.
yeah. I don't know. I just personally know that I think about people that I care about, and I will go to war with them. I will go to the front lines. I will do the best I can, you know. And people that claim to be your friends a lot of times they're not your friends. That happens over and over. Unless they're there with you.
Well, it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny when all this stuff happens and everybody finds out about all this stuff and all these people that you're going to be like, oh, you're telling the truth. That's the people I'm here to.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know there's a lot of BSers and a lot of bullshit out there, and they continue to pump that stuff out, and I don't buy into any of it. But I kind of just, I need to get out to where I need to be.
And
I'm
it's
sure
good.
I'll get there.
Something's coming. Everything feels different. It's something's going to give. It's not going to be too much longer. I hope. Take something really catastrophic. It's not going to just be some small little something. It's going to be something major. The only thing that's going to work. I was saying before Hangout shut me down about that coronal ejection. We've got our asses this next time in 3 days. Shut down some stuff easy. It can, if nothing, it can mess with electronics. One hit Mars on the other side. It didn't get us, but this next one is supposed to. I'm no scientist, but it's just what I've been reading. And they have been happening a lot lately. I call them sun sneeze like. It looks like the sun just sneezes. A lot of weird shit going out there in space. Explosions on the moon. Did you see those?
I didn't see that yet, but yeah, there's a lot of really stuff out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's one.
Well, there's really stupid stuff too, you know, that people buy into because they're not really understanding what what is reality. So they like buy into it. So there's a lot of that I see. People buy into fake news, buy into people talk about a lot of things. So do I. I talk about a lot of things, but people can either choose. You have to choose. So either you believe in something that someone's saying or not. What I know is I believe what I know, my personal aspect of everything, is I believe it's all fucking fraud. It's all lies. Everything's been lied. We've been lied to for so long that it's just ridiculous. We can't let that go on anymore. We have to wake up. You know? If we don't wake up to what's going on now, we're never going to make it past this agenda that they're working on. So we have to wake up to their works, their agenda, and then we have to counter it. Otherwise, we're not going to make it. Society is going to be totally screwed up soon. Think about school, indoctrination, think about Satanism, think about all that stuff. It's happening right now. No one's getting out of
I
it.
saw something. I saw something about Florida. One of the schools is gonna have some kind of the after school program. Reason why it was just this one school. I can't remember what the reason was. That's crazy.
It's gonna be.
It's
It's gonna be.
crazy.
It's already happening. Kids need to be
What
taken
the
out of school.
hell?
Better take your kids out of school. You better homeschool
I
them.
would jerk. Oh my god. It's mind boggling. I mean, everybody, I don't know. It's just like this some kind of damn. Everybody can say and do whatever the fuck they want to do, you know? Get it. You believe in a fuck on this. It'll hold up in court as fucking belief. Give me a break. Break. Shit going on right here. It's just like, even watch anymore.
It's amazing to me. I just see amazing amount of bullshit everywhere I look. So it's just bullshit.
It's terrible.
It's honestly bullshit. But
Guys are girls and girls are guys and cats are dogs and dogs are cats and fucking butter. You know, it's just a bunch of sniveling punks is what we've turned into. A bunch of little crybabies. America. Babies.
well, that is the way it is now. And until people wake up to that and we get back to God, it's not gonna solve itself. So there's no way around it. You just have to go there and figure out, all right, if I don't freaking do what I'm supposed to do, understand what I'm supposed to understand here, then I'm losing. I'm losing the situation that I'm in. And you're going. People lose every day. They lose their salvation. They have no faith in God. That's their problem. Because what's real is there is no. Okay, people keep saying to me, evolution. We were from monkeys, but the Big Bang happened, and it came because these are atheists telling this shit that nothing ever happened. Well, it happened from nothing. Is what they're saying. Well, who created nothing? Who created nothing? I mean, where did the Big Bang come from? Explain to me. Oh, out of nothing. Oh, okay. So what's nothing?
They want to explain
How they
to you.
can.
CERN is trying to figure it out. It's to tell you, believe me, they're trying to figure it out. It may blow us all up in the end, but they're working on it.
Yeah, they still can't explain it. And that's the thing. They cannot explain the Big Bang. Oh, you're from apes. Oh, apes have apes. They mate with other apes, and they make apes. And I see an ape born. I see a human born. That's BS. That's crap. It's not real. Because that's the thing, they constantly talk about how we evolved from apes. The apes are still real. They're here on Earth now. We mostly keep them in cages.
They're not evolving. Evolving.
We mostly keep the apes in cages, if you know this. They're not free.
They keep everything in cages. They keep our
What the,
I mean,
how is
that's where
that?
we don't get it from a farm. We get it from a slaughterhouse. Everything's encaged. Everything under the sun is a fucking slave. It's terrible. Everything's in a cage, whether it be or mental.
Right, we're all slaves. So let's
Even the animals.
yeah. So we have to come together and realize that's the situation. We are all under this slavery system, and we need to break free of it. We need to understand it and how we are slaves. So we have to understand first. And most people not wrap their brains around that. I can, because it's not that hard to figure out. It's not hard to figure out at all. So we are all slaves.
No, but if playing it, it's just too much. They can't deal with it. It's too much. If you take them back to their straw man and they find out they have a account in the Federal Reserve with their name on that shit.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So I posted that shit.
It's too far fetched.
So see, they're not living in reality because these fucking criminals already got your name and they're using it and your social security number as well. And they've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's stupid to try to act on that because you know they're gonna have your ass in a honeypot. You know they're gonna, mess you up right there. So, but the truth of the matter is, yeah, when your mom signed your social security number or mine, my card, she sold me the state or the government, whatever you want to call it. Once you
You're a ward.
Ward of the state.
Ward of the government.
So once that happened, now they're using your number and your name as a way to make money, which they've done. I'm guaranteed they've done. That's
It's
pretty
fancy
simple.
money laundering.
Yeah, exactly. They've done it. But yet, if you try to collect on your money that they did in your name, you're going to prison for fraud.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that are committing fraud, and they're the ones that are the criminals. So, so there you go, right?
Right.
So there we are. We're stuck in this battle between good and evil right now, which will come out. It's all the truth will be shown eventually. This money that they used our names, our wealth on, because when you're born, you're a value. You're a value. You're a value to them, to anything. You're a value. You're considered value. And then they start with that little value, and then they move on. Now you're fucking bonds. You got bonds. You got all kinds of shit in your name that they're using to get rich off of. And their children will never have to work a day. They'll be born into it. They'll be born into absolute power, and they won't have to work never, ever in their life. They'll just be born into riches because we all hate them. That's the fact.
And what happens when you die? What happens if people die? Don't get their, let's say, Social Security or whatever. What happens to all that money?
No, they collect when you die. So, Sherry's in the house. Hey, girlfriend. But here's what they do: they collect when you die. So when the Pope in 2014 broke it all up. If you go back and look at what he did, what he signed in 2014, he basically divided all the corporations. So when he divided all that up, it gave the people access to it. Because if it's all tied, they can't collect it if it's connected to a group. Like, you know what I mean? They can't cash out. of a group entity. But when he did that, it basically gave us the ability to collect out, um, and for many other corporations to do the same thing to cash out. But they don't. When they cash out, is when you're dead, when you die. That's how they cash out on you.
Moto, what is it? There's
Moto Proto
it's Motu Proprio.
Propria,
Mo,
yeah.
Moto, yeah,
Moto
Motu
Proprio.
Proprio.
So
I'll take mine with
yeah,
pepperoni.
I'm playing the fifth too, but hey, that's what they do. So, well, it's cool that you said that, and that's a fact, and that stuff they're doing. Moto Proprio. How
It's
do you say
crazy.
it?
Motu Proprio. Motu Proprio.
Right. And that's what happened in 2013. He signed the daggone
Mm-hmm.
document that basically set us free of released the
Right.
corporations. So now people are trying to collect. Well, they're going to jail.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
trying to collect.
I'm watching it. I really do.
Yeah, that guy, I don't know who he is, Andy,
Harvey
whatever.
Dent. Harvey.
Harvey, yeah,
Harvey Dent.
the black guy, yeah, the color guy. He's mixed
Yeah.
or whatever. Harvey Dent. Yeah, they shut
He's
his channel
mixed.
down. His channel shut down. So, but
Yeah, he's got another one up now.
okay, but he's on it. I mean, he's really on it. I thought he's on it.
Yeah, he
Okay,
is.
he's trying to
He
tell
thinks
people.
if enough people do this, he wants like everybody to do it. Like everybody just want every person and just do it. Just try to discharge one dead. They will lose their damn minds.
Yeah, they will. If everybody did that,
Listen,
they
he
would lose their
was
mind.
doing a live stream tonight for like a week, and he did a live stream to just in the middle of it, it just shut down.
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to censor him. You know, he actually tells you what to do pretty much. But I'm not doing anything like that. I'm not doing anything. I don't need to.
Well, the thing is, with him, he did take his birth certificate.
Yeah.
He's actually a sovereign, so he shouldn't be able to do anything. But I don't know.
I don't know.
Sovereign
It's
stuff.
you talk about
Too much.
yeah. It's very heavy about monetizing your social security number and doing this and doing that. There's different aspects of that, but I'm not going to rush out and just do something stupid so I go to jail. So I'll wait and see what happens. If
Well, goes to
I can
jail.
access that, I would. I mean, they own us. They own us, but they owe us. The fact is, they own us. They own it. They owe us. Like, so they've used our status forever to make a lot of money. So they really need to give it back. But I can't make them do it. You know that if we try, we'll probably go to prison and never get out. So
They don't have all that money though.
it's all digital. It's digital. There's no money. Nobody gonna.
Damn
They're
money.
not gonna whip out 80 grand in cash and just give it to you. They're gonna give you a digital account of numbers. That's all it is numbers. That's why it happened in the first place. Because it's just numbers. So they're working, and that's what the cashless society is about. That's what all this stuff's about. People don't understand. They don't understand that pretty soon it's going to go cashless. They're going to try to get rid of cash so that they have you numbered. When you're a number, you have a number just like your social security number, and that's how you get your money through that number. That's what they're going to do. They're going to try, but they're going to still be making money off of your number all along, just like they've always done. So it's not hard to figure out that we are slaves, that they used our names, our numbers, our everything else. They're going to continue to do so. They're not going to give up on that. They'll make more money, and they'll figure out another way to manipulate that. And they always do. They've always done it since I can, as far back as I can go in the world. They've always done that. So no one's free until that's broken. We're not free when they're using my name and my social security number to make money off it. And I'm pissed about that. But I can't collect because I'm gonna go to prison. If I tried to take my money back from them, I don't even know how much they owe me. It could be millions of dollars that they used on bonds and in the market and everything else. I'll never get that back. But they took it, so they're off.
You can look it up. You can get those numbers, routing numbers. The closest Federal Reserve, Atlanta one. At least you can look at what you're worth. Not.
Yeah, sure.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to take any money out, but you.
Right. You can see what's in there, which is unbelievable. Okay, if you can figure out that, all right, this money's there, just like the guy who, that bought the motorhome. It went through because it was in his name.
But what does it? Wait, what does it say to you though, Tom? That if you plug in your name, the numbers on your Social Security card, you have to put. I think you have to put a 0 in front of it, and then you've got to get like I said, your close. And up popped an account. Nah, that they're in an account.
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that, to all of that, but to me, it could be a fishing expedition, or it could be, legitimate. So I still keep an open mind. I really don't know. As far as that's concerned, though, it's probably our money. It's probably what they used our names for. I tend to lean on the fact that they screwed it. So they actually have used it.
It's wild that there's actually accounts in all of our names with our Social Security numbers.
Yeah, because that's why they even created it. You're a lost vessel at sea. They claimed you when your mom signed it over. So now you belong to the state. These people, and they ran everything all along, and they sold you out. Well, they sold you for money. They used you for money, value. So if you can do that, which I believe they've done, they can make all that money off of all of us throughout our lives, and they can collect it at the end once we die. That's how they get it. They can't get it while we're alive. They have to get it after we pass away, and that's how they do it. And I believe that is probably real. I mean, I don't doubt that. I've looked into it a lot. I believe that's real. So, people they want to realize that Satanism and all these elites, and they worship Satan and the devil, man. They really do. They they worship the dark side. So you got to know that they
It's right on the dollar.
right there, yeah.
Money.
Trying to turn everybody's face. So people need to wake up to that, or we can solve these problems that we have. People need to understand that this is good versus evil. If they can't figure that out, then we are bad, because we're not going to be able to solve it. We have to work on it as that. It's good versus evil. Evil is incredibly expanded in the world, but we are losing ground as good, and we need to take it back. We need to take it back. We need to take back the churches.
Yes.
We need to take back the ground. We need to take it over and tell them, "Fuck you, get out of here. You're evil. Get out." You know, we're going to do righteous things. And we're going to help people. And we're going to make the world better again without you. So, but it's whatever the Lord, decides to deliver. We talk about Revelations and we talk about all these things when God comes back. But I don't know when that's going to happen. So, meanwhile, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to just sit around and go, whatever. I'm going to I'm going to speak out about it and talk about the truth, talk about evil, and talk about good, and talk about how we can fight it. How we can fight against the evil in this world is to expose the truth, the light, of the day. We have to expose. We have to expose that they are evil. They're trying to kill humanity. I mean, they don't want us here. All you gotta do is look at Georgia Guidestones. They want to get rid of humanity. They're trying to kill us. They're poisoning everything: the air, the water, the food, everything. It's being poisoned. Your vaccine, your mosquitoes now, genetically modified mosquitoes that are
modified.
They're gonna mess with. You can't have children anymore because they're gonna bite you. Now you can't. You're sterile. So these are the things that they're actually doing that people aren't really realizing. Your average person running around, everything's cool, playing the video games, or whatever. But what they don't understand is all this. And when the mosquitoes are biting them, they're going to go, But when they go to have a child, their child's probably going to come out completely deformed. Or maybe not at all. Because they've been bit by a genetically modified mosquito that's, killing you're not without you. It's going to make you sterile. That's the agenda, which,
Well, it's working because they released a report to me and it's like.
So we know that's the agenda that they're going to roll with. Like, all right, we're going to let these people get vaccinated, or we're going to give them a shot, a mosquito. All right, because maybe not everybody's going to take the vaccination. So if mosquitoes are around, they're going to get bit by a mosquito. So easier. That's an easy way, or a more effective way for them to depopulate. Which that's what they want to do. It's obvious. It's not. It doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. It's pretty clear. So they want to depopulate. What are they going to do? They're going to either put it in the air, they're going to put it in your water, food, or mosquito, genetically modified organism, whatever. They're going to do that now. So because they have the technology, so they're going to do it. People aren't going to understand. They just got bit by a mosquito, and these young, millenniums or whatever, they're not understanding that actually that's happening to them. So it's going to slow the population. That's what they're trying to do. And they want to kill a bunch of us off. I know they do. But I don't think they figured out how to do it. Exactly. How they want to do it. How are you going to kill us, 3 million, 4 million people off at once? without being obvious that you did it without being obvious. It's like committing a crime. How are you going to kill us all and not us know? Or people know. And then there'll be a reaction, right? Hopefully, right? People are so dumbed down today that they won't even react. If something like that were happening, they probably wouldn't even do anything. That's the saddest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life since I've been born. Because if you come after me, I'm coming after you. I'm gonna fight back. I'm not gonna just sit back and let these people do this stuff. If they come and get me or whatever and put me in Guantanamo Bay where they belong, because that's where they belong. They belong either hung in the public view, or they belong, in my opinion, in like somewhere like Guantanamo. I hear people talk about, oh, deport them. Not that. I'm not deporting evil people into another
No,
country.
we don't want to put them in Gitmo. We don't want to feed them.
Huh?
Put them in Gitmo. We don't want to have to feed them.
Well, I don't want them to be anywhere else besides locked up somewhere. I don't want, because some people go, oh, we do a God thing, don't send them to prison. No, send them to prison. I don't want to send a bunch of freaking, I don't want to send a bunch of freaking pedophiles and Satanists to any other country on a bus somewhere. And just release them there. Oh, you're free now. Go be a Satanist in Canada or whatever. No, F that. If Hillary Clinton and all these other people, they should be put in Guantanamo. They should be stripped naked and beat with whips or whatever else they did to everybody else. That's what should happen. Don't let them free, because people talk about it. Ron John talks about it. I listen to his stuff sometimes. Like, are you serious? Don't let them free. You can't let them.
Don't let them free.
No. They would never let us free, would they? They would put us in a FEMA camp or something, somewhere, and chop our heads off. They would love to do that. Well, I'm not going to accept them going free. No. Put them in Guantanamo Bay and torture them just like everybody other terrorists. Because that's what they freaking are. It's a bunch of terrorists. They're terrorists. They've taken over this country. They terrorized the American people. And they continue to do so. And everybody continues to buy into their bullshit. When yet you see, okay, since Trump's become president, I haven't seen no terrorist attacks. Have you? Have you seen a false flag? I haven't seen no false flag, really. No, since Trump became president. I haven't seen,
Oh, the last one I remember was probably that airplane in Florida, the gunman in the airport.
Right. What about the one with the crazy liberal or whatever trying to shoot Ron Paul and them, Republicans out there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, that doesn't matter. He's just a fucking idiot. It doesn't make any difference between Republican and Democrat anyway, because they're all working for the same people. So people buying all that shit too. And it's like, are you serious? Are you that? No. I hate to say that. I'm not trying to criticize it, but a lot of people really have no common sense. They don't. It's like, okay, these people are trying to kill each other. Do you know they want to do that on purpose? They wanted that to happen so that you can be divided some more. Right? Divide and conquer. And they create the problem of vision.
Well, we're certainly divided. They've done a very good job with that.
They do it in every way. Through every faction of reality they develop. Through sports, through education, through religion, through, and you can go on and on and on how they do that. And it's all there. They do it. But people still can't come together because we can't figure out what's being done to them. They're being manipulated by an evil bunch of people that are controlling everything. And so they just buy right into all of it. Everybody goes along. And people need to stop doing that. It's a horrible thing. If the world was to wake up and we all figured out we would win tomorrow, we would win overnight, it would be over. Because people would say, no, I'm not doing this. If everybody tomorrow did not go to work in the whole United States of America, it would be over. If we did that for a week, if no one went to their job and said, F you, it would be over. It would totally collapse their system because they can't win on it forever. And they're not going to anyway. They're corrupted as fuck. They ruined society over greed and power and money. They've raped us. We're slaves. And people need to understand that. They can't accept that they're a slave. That's what's wrong. It's like, no, I'm not a slave. No, I'm not a slave. Oh. It's like, no, I'm not a slave. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're a slave until people understand that. Nothing's going to change. It's going to stay the same way. It's going to all be a bunch of damn slaves. And that's what the deal is. And people can't get that wrapped around in their head, brain, or whatever. They need to figure that out. They need to figure out that you are not free. Because if I was free, I could do whatever the hell I wanted to. I could go to the courtroom and walk in there where the Bundys were. I could stand. I could say anything I wanted to, and no one would ever
drive a car. You without a license. Come on.
You drive a car without a license.
Fishing. Yeah, you can't even go catch a damn fish without having to pay.
Have licenses, pay fines. Oh, we caught too many fish. Oh, this one's under the net. So it's all basically about control, and no one seems to understand that they're completely controlled. So we need to get out from under that idea. And we can regulate that stuff on our own. We don't need them to do that. See, we can even regulate the population without. We don't need them to do that. All we need to do is be educated. You educate someone about the world, then they won't have 5 children. If you don't give them the opportunity to get all this stuff for free because they have more children, then because it's an incentive. Here, you have another children, we'll give you more money. That's how these people look at it. Well, you almost can't blame them. No, you really can't. But it's the wrong path. They're going down the wrong road. We don't need to be doing that. We need to be figuring out how we're going to take care of humanity itself here in the next, 5, 10 years. Well, what are we going to do? Where are we going? What direction are we heading in as people? That is being lost. People are just like, wow, we'll just go along with the system. The board. I mean, it's a hive mind thing now. It's a shame.
True.
Damn true. But I'm gonna just realize I know this is real. It's happening. There's a bunch of people who want to kill us out here. But I'm gonna move on from that and try to motivate people to the right direction. What I want to see them do is get saved. That's just my way of thinking. we do get saved before all this shit happens. It's almost right in our face now, and people aren't going to see it. I'm okay, don't worry about it, and blah, blah, blah. But I don't see it like that. I see it as, you either you're going to take the mark soon, or you're going to opt out. You're not going to take it. So there's going to be two different kinds of people in the world, at least. That ones that won't, and ones that resist, and then there's going to be the ones that just take it and go along. The ones that are doing it now, they're already doing it. They're just taking it because it's convenient. You go to work, you scan your hand, and right in and buy stuff without even whipping out cash or anything like that. So that's where we're at. And those, they're already marked. But technology for me is the mark. It's just whether you take what they're selling you. I'm going to use that against them. Technology is a double-edged sword. I will use it against them any way I can. So I'm sure they'll get me. They'll get me. One day they're going to get me. Probably. But it doesn't even matter because I don't care about that. Because I know where I'm going afterwards. So that doesn't matter. I'm not concerned with that. People get overworked up. Oh, I'm going to die and go to hell. But I'm going to heaven. I know that for a fact. That's because I believe in my heart in Jesus and what He did. Everybody else that seems to think that we were created from monkeys or something, evolution and all this other garbage, they're not going to make it where they need to go. It talks about that in the Bible a lot, and it explains it over and over again. I guess most people don't read that stuff, but and actually believe it. People don't believe it. Like, oh, you're crazy. No, I'm not. You might think I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. The gate is wide. It's wide. The path is wide. But the gate is narrow. And that's what it is. It's a wide path, but the gate is narrow. You're going to have to go through that gate to get to there. And me, you're not going to get through that gate, that narrow little gate passage, unless you actually have some belief and faith in what happened, what was done for you. So I believe personally that that's what Jesus was here for and why it was done. It was for all sinners, and I think that we were all sinners, what you said. No man can live up to the glory of God. No woman can't live up to the glory of God. It's impossible. What happened is He gave us that grace, and He freed us of it. When He was sacrificed, that was done for everybody. Not for, it doesn't say for like the Jews. It's for all the world, actually. So it's for the world. So every single sinner on this planet that ever sinned, which we all are, no man can live up to the glory of God. We cannot do it. So we're all sinners. So Jesus gave us a gift of salvation. But most people don't understand that He did that and what it really was about. So it was about salvation for everybody because no one can do it by themselves. So the only really way, in my mind, to get to heaven is through Him. You have to believe in Him to get. It's not about like people do stuff all the time. It's like they do works. They claim to do it in His name, but really that doesn't get you to heaven. It just it's a delusion because you're not really going to get there. And you have to really. That's the thing about faith. You have to really believe. And people who can't put their heart into that, they can't truly believe, which is hard. And I understand. I pray that people who do not understand Jesus Christ is their Savior, and they do not put faith in, okay, I truly pray for, because I think that they're going to get lost. And it talks about it throughout the whole Bible about that. And if you, I guess, for me, it's like I believe the Bible because everything that I've seen in it, that I've read, and over time has come true. So it's like it's telling me the truth. So I don't know how to deny it because I can't. But I believe that I don't know the end of it. You know exactly how it's going to happen. You know when God's going to come back. You know He does, whatever time, date. No one knows. I really don't know, but I do believe personally myself that it's my belief is that Jesus did die on the cross. He did cross. You could say cross, whatever. Post. It really wasn't a cross, but to save us all of our sins. So it was a gift that can't be taken away. When He gives you, God gives you a gift, He's not going to take it away from you. Why would that's in me? I mean, He wouldn't give it to you and go, well, here's salvation. You know, here's your life. You know that you can live in heaven forever. He wouldn't give you that if you just believed in Him and take it away. In other words, you know, you're not going to burn in hell because we're all sinners, right? So we all make mistakes. We all are sinners. We all cannot live up to the glory of God. We come short of it. And because we come up short of it, He did what He had to do to give us that salvation. So in my mind, my heart, from what I know, I believe that believing in that is the ticket, you know, to heaven. It's not going to church. It's not, you know, your works. It's not being a wonderful Christian. You know, it's not about that. It's about belief. You give yourself over to Jesus, and you give your heart to that, then that's all you have to do. There's nothing else you have to do. That's what everybody's confused. You just give it over. It's simple, and He'll save you. But you just give it over to Him, and then boom, it's done. It's not. You're not going to go to hell. You can't go to hell. You can't go to hell. If that's the truth, and what it says in the Bible, and what it says that if you believe on me, you will have everlasting life, eternal life. It says it over and over again, over and over again. If that's the truth, then you're not going to die. You're going to die physical, but you're not going to go spiritually. You will stay. You will go to heaven. You won't be one of the ones that are outside of, you know, that gate where, like He said, you know, He said it to John. Asked him, and He told him. And I believe that's true, because wide is the way, but narrow is the gate. You're not going to get through that gate, because see, most people are going to end up at the fence, and they're never going to find the gate. They're never going to make it to that point ever, because they're going to all be scattered around, you know, like it said. So if you believe in what the Bible says, then you're not going to make it there like God. You have to have faith in what Jesus did for all of us to get to heaven, which was, you know, sacrifice Himself. So He's God's Son, so He was God Himself, really. And the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit are one. There are three of the same. People don't understand that part of it. So they don't, I guess they don't understand and read. I read, I understand the Bible. I know what the Lord said, and I believe that that's true. If you don't commit yourself to Him, you're not gonna get anything. You're not gonna. I do, and it actually works. And I promise you that when I pray for something, it actually works. It completely works. I'm so amazed by the power of God that it's unbelievable. For me, it is. When I pray, like, Lord, let me have a good day. Tomorrow, let me, ride with Tyler. Tomorrow, let me da 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 da. And then, you know what? That happens. Just like that. Like that. It happens. But I prayed for you. Sometimes you're going to go through hard times. But let me tell you, it's amazing what the power of that can do when it's in you. If you don't really have it in you, you're never going to see it. You're never going to feel it. You're never going to see the results. But when you truly do have that in you, and you pray on something like that, and you see the results of it, it actually amazes. It blows me away. It's like, wow, that is crazy that this just happened. Lord is answering my prayers. Just as I'm speaking, He answers my prayers. And not only that, your tears and your emotions, when I break down, it means something to Him, because you're being genuine. You're not some, narcissistic fool that cares about destroying people to get their money. See, I'm not about that. Never been. Whatever I have in trust and faith, and I don't care about this. I'm just giving what I'm given. Whatever God gave me, I'm gonna take it as that, and I'm not gonna abuse it. Just give me what He gave me. I'm good, man. I can help others. I can do things. He freed me up right now in my life. He freed me up, but I'm not gonna do the wrong thing. Right? So, okay, so I've got money. Also, I went from being broke and no job for like 2 years to having a bunch of money. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But what does that do? Nothing. It doesn't change me. Okay, I'm still the same person I was before. No, only because I got all this money and stuff. Everything changed overnight for me in my world. Doesn't change who I am. I am still the same person. I still believe. I still have faith in Christ. I still understand that I put everything in Him. He will give it to me. And I also try to, help people if I can. And that's all in good faith. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to do. So many people are caught up in material things, caught up in this world, that they've lost sight of what's important. You know what's important? I'll tell everybody what's important. You know what's important, everybody in the world that's listening, or whoever listening to this, is love. That's the most important. Love. Because when you love somebody, you care about somebody, you care or love your fellow man or your fellow woman or your fellow man, humanity itself for me. That doesn't change. No matter what happens, it doesn't change. That doesn't change. So I can inherit with millions of dollars and become this billionaire or something, and that wouldn't even change. For me, it would not change. I would never change who I am. I would never stop doing what I'm doing right now. I would never stop talking to Linda. I would never stop doing what I believe just because of some numbers or some fiat currency. You know what I mean? That would never change me.
Yeah.
So I hope people realize that. I am a true person. I know I'm not faking around. You know what I mean? I am who I am, and whatever, people don't want to believe that or whatever, it's fine. It's just, I am who I am, and if, even though I did, get a money or whatever, it doesn't change who I am. I'm still the same person. I don't feel any different. Actually, I feel worse. To be honest. You know why? Because I have to deal with
Why?
that. So I have to deal with that. So I'm being put through something that I don't even understand why I have to get put through it over something that is material, which doesn't even really matter. Because I can't take it with me neither. Now, maybe I can help somebody with it or whatever. Maybe there's a reason why that was, being given to me or whatever. So maybe that's the reason for it. And probably so. And I will try to do that. I'm not going to, people get this weird thing about them. They get something, they get this big head, they're better. Look at me. That's nothing about who I am. Nothing at all. At all. I could do without anything, to be honest. I'd rather almost not have to deal with any of it. But I'm going to do what I believe is the right thing. So I'm just going to try. I don't know. That's all I know. So I think that's the best thing to do. Do the right thing, man. Why be so hypocritical or so better? Look at me now. That's what people do. I get tired of that stuff. People inherit a little bit of money and this all goes to their head. Like there's somebody better than anybody. I'm no better than anybody. Actually, I would like to do wonderful things, with everything that I've been given. But see, that's a God-given thing, and maybe there's a reason why. Obviously, there is. Something I'm meant to do. God wants me to do. Right? I believe that. I really, truly do. There's some reason why we're all here. There is. So we all have to embrace that and try to figure out what it is so that we can do it to help whatever the situation is. Whatever we're called to do. That's what I believe. So I'm called for something. But whatever it is, not quite sure. Right? So maybe it's driving the little old lady that I'm supposed to take tomorrow to, and I shouldn't even be saying it. See, this is the thing about it. You shouldn't even say it. Stuff you're planning to do, you shouldn't even say. Because I don't want to boast about anything or say, oh, look at me. Look what I'm doing to help somebody or something. But I guess, and God doesn't want you to do that. I know that from what it said. So I'm not even going to say it. I shut up now. I was going to say it, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you know that or not. It matters whether he knows that or not. So it's just kind of like between me and him, not between anybody else. Right? So I think everybody needs to realize that. And don't do things all the time and go around bragging about these things. That's what gets me mad about it. Oh, look what I did. You know what I mean? Help somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's wrong. Don't take it in your heart. You have it in your heart. You don't need to advertise or everybody, oh, look what I did. Something like that. People are like that all the time. And they do it on purpose, too. They'll do it on purpose just to make themselves look like that. It happened at my job the other day. A guy I know, it's a good guy. It's a guy, Tyler. But this other guy, Todd, gave him like $50 or something. And he bragged everywhere. Oh, I gave Tyler $50, to help him. I did this for him and all that stuff, right? That was
Right.
bogus to me. I was like, are you serious? You didn't need to tell anybody about that. They're going to go around telling everybody that
Yeah.
Tyler broke, basically, and that you gave him money so you could brag about it in front of everybody else at your job. I mean, that is stupid. That pissed me off. I knew right then that I had a problem with that. Right?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Don't do that.
Right.
I mean, that pissed me off. I was like, really? You just made Tyler look like, like he just broke. I mean, you threw him under the bus and then bragged about how you tried to help him. But I mean, that was, see, to me, I see right through this Todd guy for doing that, for saying that to all of us and putting Tyler, making him look like he was broke and hurting or whatever. He should have never done that.
Mm-hmm.
Totally wrong. Totally wrong. Because I believe in just doing things sometimes when you need to do them. You don't need to tell everybody about it or brag about it. You just do it. You do it for God. You don't do it or you do it because you have a heart. You do it for good intentions. But you don't need to go around saying, see me, see what I did. That's the kind of stuff that pisses me.
That's
People like
just a
that.
narcissist, though.
Yeah, they piss me off because they're like, look at me. What? Who cares, man? I mean, I do care when someone does something good for somebody, but people go around bragging about that shit all the time, and it make themselves look like, ooh, me. I don't. It's stupid. So what the thing with
Yeah.
Tyler was is he needed money, yeah, but Todd didn't need to do that. He didn't need to go telling everybody, that, look what I did. It was wrong. And it made both of them look bad, in my opinion. But I knew Tyler, it wasn't Tyler's fault. He was just going through a struggle in life, and Todd made basically made himself look good by trying to do that, and bragged to everybody, so it made the whole thing stupid.
Yeah.
Silliness of people, right? So silly, like children. I don't know. Really hard. It amazed me. I was shocked by it. Like, wow. This is all just rumor going around my work, oh
Yeah.
no, and then Potter didn't take the money or something, and then I heard all this other stuff. Oh my God! Look at the world we live in, people. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? You're arguing about who gave who something, and it was like $50, and they had this whole thing going on for like a month, the last whole month. It's absolutely amazing.
Huh.
It's like, are you freaking serious? So,
Wow.
I see through a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's so many problems we have that we just can't even, most human beings can't recognize. But when people do that kind of stuff, like, are you joking? Are you serious? No. Are you serious? It's like, wow. It's a joke, man. People need to get off their high horses and start caring about their fellow people. Their fellow man, and not going, oh, look what I did all the time. That's what gets me. I mean, just do it. Shut up. Do it. Help them. Don't say nothing. You know what I mean? Just help somebody out sometime. I do it all the time, and I'm not bragging at all. You know what gets me? When I see like a little lady or something, she can't load her groceries in her truck or something. And See, this is stupid. I shouldn't be saying this because I shouldn't be saying it. But I'm going to say it anyway. I'll stop and help. I mean, I'll stop and help
Yeah,
them. You know, but I don't expect anything
would
for
too.
it. You know what I mean? I don't want any credit for it. You know who I'm going to get credit for it from is up there, not here. So I don't want someone else to go, oh, you're such a nice guy. You know, you helped that little old lady. You know what I mean? I don't care about that. I don't need the
Yeah.
gratification of that. Because that's what people's problems are. They freaking need instant gratification. You know, that's the problem with all this smartphone shit and everything else. Because I posted something. Whoop, I'm waiting for instant response to post. So it's you know then you're gratified that someone responded. Well, that's the problem. I don't give a shit if anybody responds to me or not. You know what I mean? Or likes me or not. I'm honest, dude. I know what I believe in. I know what I know. So that's the end of that. So it's that simple for me. But
Right.
other people need to have that. They someone responded to me. Oh, I'm somebody. Well, that's the whole problem with society because that's now the new way that people think. Like, oh, I posted something, and then they can't wait until someone posts something back, response to, and then they're gratified that, oh, someone responded to me. Well, I've never given a shit about it. You know what I mean? I'm who I am. If people don't like me for who I am, then they don't like me, and that's fine. And they can go somewhere else. They don't like me, but that's just me. I don't have. I mean, now you're my friend, and you've been since the beginning, and so have a few other people, but very select people have been my friends because I think, because it doesn't matter to you about that, right? So it's
Right.
not about, you know, gratification that I reposted your post right away, right? I mean, I don't think you care about
Oh,
that, do you?
no, I don't worry about that kind of stuff.
I mean, no. But people do think about that. That's all they do. They sit there and wait for a response to their post so that they feel gratified that someone acknowledged their existence.
Be waiting for a while if they're waiting on me.
So see, I don't roll like that, but that's just the way it goes. I expect people who truly care and truly have an interest in humanity that they will follow me or whatever, maybe talk to me or whatever. But I'm not truly worried about it, like what other people think of me, because I know that people think whatever, and I understand. I'm not a perfect person. I'm a sinner, just like everybody else. I'm just, you know, I'm imperfect, and I'm gonna make mistakes, and I'm gonna say things that probably aren't right, whatever, and I'm probably not, obviously, not right about everything that I say. So, but and I'll admit that, but a lot of people won't admit that they're wrong sometimes, and they just go on and they got this narcissistic, huge, ego thing where they think they're better than everybody else and they can do no wrong. And those are the ones that I can't align myself with it anyway. There's people like that out there everywhere. So, and I know you know all this. It's just important that other people need to hear this. Look in the mirror. Think about yourself. Think about you know who you are and what you stand for. Who are you? Just, I mean, I want to challenge everybody that listens to this to look themselves in the mirror and challenge themselves in their belief system about who they are, and what they believe in, what they belong to, what they consider true. What do you think? I want to challenge that because I do it, and it's a really frightening scenario. You know what I mean? So look yourself in the face, going, "Who am I? What am I doing here? What? Why am I here? What is this? What is the world? Why am I in this situation where I have to say these things, or speak out about these things, whatever?" But I do it all the time, and you have to be humble. You got to humble yourself, because if you're not humbled, you're just another part of the problem. There's so much going on that we're just wasting away in society without, being really humbled about what the truth is, what they're doing, how can we fight back? I mean, what are the answers? We have to work on that more than anything, I believe. Right?
You're correct.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Uh,
I was drinking.
well, we had Becky here in there for a minute. She's going to bed, she says. But everybody has their own differences of opinions and problems and perspectives. But I care about people who care about the reality of the facts of the situation. That's what I consider. I care about that. Hey, we're in deep trouble. We're facing this new world order. We're transhumanism, transgender. Everything's a false reality, really. So when people start talking about that and they kind of have an understanding of it, I try to I don't want to throw those people away out of my world at all. I want to bring them in. So when that happens, we got to put our little differences aside, in my opinion, and leave that aside, because people are too sensitive and they're too emotional in their indifference. We need to put that aside, because we can't fix anything unless we all come together, right? So we need to understand black, white, purple. I don't give a fuck. It's all the same. We're all under the same system. We're all under the same act by the same criminal elites that we've always been. They just use us in different ways. So we've all been slaves for a long time. They're, in different ways. Is what I'm saying. So I want people to realize that, and even other people, black, white, I don't care, Hispanic, it doesn't make any difference, really, because we're all under the same, looking down the same barrel of the same thing. And I've been saying that since I started, doing it, speaking out. But we are. So we have to understand. Till we can realize how they're using us, then we're never going to win. Right? Because you can't overcome something
Right.
that you don't know is going on. So they use race, they use ethnics, whatever. Throughout history, they've always to divide us. So they're going to divide us up even. Oh, you're a damn Hispanic, you're a Mexican, you're white, because we're a minority now. You're racist. Now you're womanizer. You're whatever. Okay? It constantly goes on, but it's constantly a divide. It's diversion on purpose. I don't care what those people do. If you want to be a homo, go ahead, be homo. Just don't bother me with it. You know what I mean? Don't put it in my face. But if you want to go be a homosexual, go. I don't care.
Right.
As long as you don't hurt me or harm my fellow Americans and my fellow peoples, hey, do what you want. Fine. And That's the way it should be. But people, they use it so much to divide us up. We're fighting with each other that we can't even realize that they ruling the world. They're freaking taking over everything, and they're continuing with it. And so, they use it religiously wise. They use it, transgenders, homosexuality in the church, even in our military. I mean, it's all this stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. Because it's always been that way. Don't anybody realize that there's always been homosexuals in the military? There's always been that. Forever, longest time, decades. But they never said anything though, because they were living in the closet. My neighbors across the street when I was growing up were homosexuals, and they were in the Air Force, MacDill Air Force Base. Guess what? They never said nothing to nobody, but I knew about it, because they're my neighbors. But now, with the Obama administration and all that bullshit, they brought it all out. Like, oh, it's, so whatever. I disagree with that. Okay, I don't agree with homosexuality. I don't agree with transgenderism. I can be whatever gender I want to be. Okay, you're born a male or you're born a female. So I believe in as you're born. God made you that way. So it's just more of a mental issue, and there's a lot of proof of that. But if you're in the military and you're a homosexual or a transgender or a transgender neutral or whatever the hell you want to call it, whatever you want to call yourself. I mean, these days, they were saying that's fine. But see, now we're getting back more to God, where you're not going to do that. I mean, I believe personally that it's a sin. It's a huge sin. It's against God's will. He never intended for that to happen. Just like what they're doing with all these vaccines, mosquitoes, everything else to be popular. It's all part of their agenda. But you have to look at that. But I would say that if you want to go in the military and fight as a fighting man, you have to be a man. You have to be a man, you can't be Bruce Jenner and go into the military. I don't agree with it. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Just about dropped out for a minute. Say?
I know I'm ranting, but I just want to know what you thought about.
Oh no, I literally, you buffered out on me.
Oh. I was saying that I don't believe there should be gays or transgenders in the military, but I guess that's something that they're already been there. So I don't know what to do about it. I don't know. I don't agree with my way, my faith, my thinking is that they don't belong. There shouldn't be these people that are mentally, how do you put it, mentally disturbed or distracted or whatever the problem is. Why they believe in what they believe. It's not they're born men or women. It's simple. So why is there now, of course, Trump saying no transgenders in the military? But everybody's pissed off. But I don't believe that people that, it's always been that way, I think. There's always been gays and stuff in the military, but it was always hidden. It's always kept a secret. Now you see all that out in the open. So do you think that we should allow gays in the military?
No. I do not.
That's a good answer. Clear answer. No, you said it right away. No hesitation.
No. Nope. think so.
I don't think so neither. And I don't think that it should
There's
be
two.
promoted.
That's just a liability. That's just they just should be looked at as a liability. I mean, no. I'm sorry. I say no.
Because what it does, what it's always done is brought in diversity. Like, well, I'm gay. Well, and you shouldn't be judging me for being gay, but, I'm going to fight for our country. Well, under my belief system, that is a sin. It's a sin. It's not meant to be. God did not want people to be gay. Okay? He did not want to, he didn't create transgender. He created a male and a female, right? Adam and Eve, right? A female and a male.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it was supposed to be. But because of the devil, the dark side, they twisted that into being whatever you want to think, want to believe in. So if you believe you're a hybrid, transhuman, whatever, you can just say that, and then people have to go along with that. And I don't buy that at all. I don't believe that at all.
Hmm.
You're a male or you're a female. You're born with male organs or female organs. You're a Y or an X or whatever, your chromosomes match up to be, is what you are. Right? So you are that. But people, when they're little now, today, the kids in school, they're like, you can do whatever you want. At 4 years old, do you want to be a female or do you want to be a male? Do you want, are you serious? Do you want to be called, a neutral? I'm a neutral. You have to call me a neutral. Well, in Canada, people are ready to go to prison for calling someone something that they're not comfortable being called. If I don't call them a neutral or a neutral gender or whatever they prefer, then I can be faced with a crime. And that's true. Now think about that. If I call someone something, and I can call anybody any damn thing. I can call the President of the United States a piece of shit or whatever, right? Or Obama, Hillary, whatever I want to say. Because it's my freedom of speech. But if soon here, if I do call someone something they don't identify as, then now I'm in trouble and I can go to jail. That's where we're going. And that's what people need to wake up to soon. Because we're headed down that road. We've been heading down that road forever. It's like, we're in a car. I'm in a car with a drunk that's drunk. Okay, I'm a drunk. He's drunk as crap. We're driving down the road. We're headed towards the cliff. And I'm either going to do one or two things. I'm going to punch him out, steer the car away from going off the cliff, or I'm going to jump out. I mean, you know what I mean? I got to get out. I either got to take over the car, or I got to jump out. Both they fall. So that's the deal. We have to realize that right now. We're on a runaway car that's going to run off a cliff. If we don't knock it out, take it over. That's about it. I don't know. Right? So,
I've got to. Oh, shoot. I'm about to die. Hold on. Had to plug up. Sorry.
okay, plug up. But you see what I'm saying though? We're on a cliff and we're gonna run off the cliff here any minute. Any taking and be long.
Like lemmings.
Huh?
Like lemmings. Uh-oh. Did I just drop my feed?
Anyway, what I'm saying. I don't really. There's really.
I do.
I don't know. There's not really many people who are paying attention. We don't start paying attention, man. We're in deep trouble. It's over soon. Not a lot of time, man. I don't have any kids of my own, but my stepkids and stuff, they have kids, and I become grandfather or whatever. But see, that's important for me, though, because I see that. I see the future of their lives. They're good kids. They haven't done anything wrong in society. They haven't. They're sinners, yeah. They make mistakes. These kids, but they're good kids. They don't disrespect people. They have feelings. They see things, in perspective, actually, which is good. So I've talked to them for the last, since I woke up, never long ago. I've been telling them about this stuff, and they're awake. So slowly over time, I planted the seeds in their mind, and now they understand what I'm telling them. Now they're telling me stuff that I didn't know about. So it's a matter of that. But that's a good matter of that, because now they're like as awake as I am, and even sometimes telling me things I didn't know about. Like, okay, cool, guys. So that's what I'm looking for in the future here. It's people to teach your children, educate whoever it is you can get a hold of, about what's coming. Because most people cannot understand it. They're just too asleep. They won't understand. The kids understand it. Yep. It's a different reality because they have faith. They tried to convince me of all that, like God, like your Bible, the Bible, so much years ago. Go back 10 years. When they came and visited, they were like pumping that down my throat, and wasn't believing it. I was getting upset with them because they kept pushing it. Well, they pushed and pushed and pushed that, and I ignored it. No, I have my own beliefs. I don't believe in that. Well, eventually, I figured things out on my own. But I woke up in my own way, right after 9/11. So I started to see things. Then I started to realize, hey, wait a minute. Maybe some of the stuff they were saying wasn't wrong because I'm looking at biblical stuff here, and this is happening. And so then I'm like double thinking, double checking myself, going, hey, that is not, it's not something that isn't plausible. It is. It's plausible. And I started thinking, so I started waking up, and then I completely woke up to the end game. And what really the game is in the end, and how it works out, is it's a spiritual. To me, it's a spiritual battle. It's good versus evil. That's what's going to happen. In the end, it's good versus evil, and there's only certain things I can do about it. Like, I can't solve it all and stop it. I can preach about it. I can talk about it. I can talk to you about it. I can talk to anybody about it. But I can't stop it. So, and I think that's even more credibility to what it talks about in Revelation stuff, because you can't, and it says you can't. So you might be able to give yourself a reprieve, which we talked about, a certain amount of reprieve, because you're fighting against evil. But what it says basically is what's going to come to pass is going to come to pass. And so you're not going to be able to get out of it. But you can get out of it in a certain aspect that you have your faith. So even if there's World War III and I blow the whole world up, it's not going to matter to me so much because I know where I'm going. I'm not going to be stuck in purgatory or good hell. So I'm going to heaven, and that's all good. Actually, I almost wish it would happen tomorrow because take me out of this place I'm in now, which is smidgen. This earth is just a sad place. So much torture, so much death, so much killing, for greed, so much of everything else. And people could realize that stuff. People could see it for what it really is. I think people would really understand where I'm coming from. But a lot of people will never understand that because they're too caught up in their own world. They don't want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
But the real truth of that is that's the truth. We kill how many people? How many people has government killed over the last couple centuries? Hundreds of millions of people. The government has killed. How many people have we killed since we went to since 9/11? Which was a false flag. A false flag. How many people have we killed over that? Plus our own Americans on our own soil. Can people wrap their damn heads around that? I mean, we killed 3,000 plus people on the very day, plus another 3,000 people from the asbestos and everything else that they're dying from now as we speak. How can we just allow that to be ignored? I don't know how people do it, but every day they don't even think about it. They don't even believe that anything bad happened on that day, except for we were attacked by some guy, living in the cave on dialysis. But okay, so there's how. I mean, what in the freaking world is happening? I know it's not that. It's our damn government that was involved. They took out these buildings. They disappeared all that money. It's the greatest heist in American history. On 9/11, it was the biggest heist ever. So, but your average person isn't going to understand that. How do we get around it? And how do I get my brain, and how do I sleep at night? How can I sleep at night? I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep. I have to get drunk to sleep.
Sorry.
I can't sleep because I know that these criminals killed all these people. They're still killing people as we speak. For what? Nothing I signed up for. I never said to do this. Blow up our own people so we can unite the Americans into believing we have to go to war. I never did that. They did it. And everybody was on board with that, right? It brought America together, right? It took false flag, criminal activity that killed up to now probably close to 8,000 American people to perpetrate. Now, people want to go along with that shit. I mean, maybe at first, I did at first. I thought, man, we're going to war. I'll go kill them bastards. That's what I thought. I was wrong. It's not them. It's us. It's not me or you. It's our damn government. People in our government. They're a bunch of criminals. So we have to realize that before we can solve any problems. We have to realize how bad and evil these people are. Who they are. We have to identify them. And they need to go to jail. They don't need to go be sent to Canada like other people suggest. Stuff like that. No. They need to be either hung, right? They're put in front of a firing squad, or they need to go to prison for the rest of their life. I mean, I know you agree with that.
I do.
I don't. You can't let someone like that go free and just, oh well, you can go to another country. No, hell no. That's delivering the Satan right to another country. You want to set them up with Satanists? No. So people on the internet don't have all the answers. They have good points, but it doesn't mean they have the answer. Because I listen to some people on the internet and I'm
True.
like, are you serious? I totally disagree with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ron Johnson, go on, example, and I'll say it. You know, I don't care. But he's saying send him to Canada. Well, no. Why would I send a bunch of damn criminal Satanist people that want to destroy everything to another country and let them free over there so they can destroy and take over their country? No, that's idiotic. Put them in a cell. That's where they're criminals. They should be put to death, for that matter, because they've killed. Think about people this way. They've killed innocent women and children that were going to work, trying to do. Think about it. On 9/11, people were just, they didn't know. You know, they're just there doing their job, daycare, whatever, right? All those people died. Well, the people that are behind it, which we know who's behind it, are free. They're free. Now, if you want to take them and send them to a different country and set them free in another country, okay, like Canada, what he said, fuck that. That's right, boarding our country. So you say Satanist. Okay, yeah. You want to send the Satanist right over across the border and let them free so they can take over another country? Not me. I'll put them to death. I'll put them to death in front of a fire, in front of everybody, in front of the whole United States. That's what should happen to these people like Hillary, Podesta, all that. Them people need to be, you know, so you know how I think, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they should be made an example of. Because they committed murder on millions of people. So what you do is you put them in front of millions of people and you murder them. You take their existence away. God will deal with the rest. But they don't deserve it. And God doesn't say anything about not doing that. He actually talks about it in the Bible about doing it. So people need to really understand that. So I would prefer that we take those people and we put them in front of a firing squad. Well, or not even that. You know what we could do? We could have football Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. We could have John McCain. We could have all of them. Hillary up there. You know, all the perpetrators against God, and we could put them all out there, and we could have like votes or something. Maybe we could have like, you know, some kind of questionnaires at halftime or before halftime on who they want to see lynch first, you know, and then we'll just bring them out, you know, halftime like Romans. I mean, that's where we are now, right? I mean, that's where we are.
Yeah.
So just bring them out halftime. Here comes John McCain in handcuffs, you know, shackled. You know, maybe we'll bring a lion out
Bread.
or something, right?
Bread and circuses. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll bring John McCain out, and we'll have a lion out there, you know, on the other side of the field, and we'll just set it all up, and we'll just, you know, let the lion see what he does. He's got brain cancer anyway, so, you know, what the hell?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just pisses me off because people get all like stupid over stuff, and they don't even understand history or nothing. They have no clue about nothing. They're just blind, and it just amazes me. And I can't ridicule anybody, and I won't ever do that because they just don't see it. It's just that they're not awake yet. Maybe, hopefully, God will get to them and He'll touch them, and you know, they'll to see the truth, and to see what's real. See, that's what happened to me. I think it was on purpose. God didn't leave me behind. He showed me stuff, like I told you in my dream, or whatever it was, vision. All I know is this happened to me. I had the Holy Ghost or whatever it was go through me completely. That time when I was sitting in church, and I was like maybe 18, 19, I don't know. I was young, but I was sitting at the front of this church, and I told you it was the guy that I helped when I worked at the gas station. And, I didn't know he was a preacher, blah, blah, blah. And, all that's a true story. And I went to his church. I sat there, and they said something like, lower your head and think about, something. I can't remember what he said that day, but all I know is when I did that and I totally left that place, it was like something totally went through me. It totally did. Went through my body. Went through my stomach, actually. That's where it went through. But it was incredible. And that was the craziest thing. But you know what? I wasn't convinced that when see, that's so crazy. That happened to me, and I didn't even realize that all this stuff was real. Back then, I thought, well, that was weird. You know what I mean? Maybe it was just a feeling or something, right? I wrote it off. But really, it was more than that. And then later, when I was still just an atheist and not really, I wasn't really an atheist. I believed in God, but I didn't believe in true faith and all that. So, what happened? I remember all that happening, and then I just disappeared from it all for years, and then nothing. I had my painting business. I was working hard every day, just doing my job, trying to do the best to help please my customers and all that. And I told you, this is true, a painting of Salvador Dali above my head. And then on the other end of the room, I still do, the Mayan calendar, right? So I got Salvador Dali's melted acid painting, probably on acid when he did it. Okay. I swear to you that on my life, that something happened. It happened. It's not, it wasn't normal. Everything about it wasn't normal. It wasn't normal at all. And I know Jesus came out of that Mayan calendar. His head, not his whole body, but just his upper part of him. And Satan came out of the other side, out of the Salvador Dali. And they battled over me above my head for my soul. And I had to pray. I prayed. I swear, I prayed to Satan. And it was so, and it wasn't like I was dreaming about or thinking about any of this stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't thinking about heaven or like the Bible. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
So it all just happened without me thinking about it. It just, and it was incredible. And I had to, I literally was so scared I was going to lose my soul. I thought Satan was going to win. And Jesus won in the end. He won in the end. He saved me. But that was incredible. Because I had not thought of any of that stuff for years. It just came out of nowhere. And I forgot about it. I forgot about that too. But then when I started to wake up to the world and researching and starting to understand what was going on, okay, God already saved me. Jesus saved me that night. I woke up in a pool of sweat so deep that I was soaked. I literally soaked. It was amazing what had happened. But I forgot it. As powerful as that was, and as much as that meant now that I think about it in my life, how powerful that was, I did not recognize it. I did not recognize it as what it was. I did not realize how powerful that was till later. Then I realized, holy shit, excuse my language. But I didn't until I saw Kelly. That's exactly what it is. Hell, there's hell. There's heaven. There's good. There's evil. It's a spiritual battle. I see. Years later, I learned that. So he showed me and saved me before he saved me. I wasn't even willing to be saved. That's what's amazing about that. I didn't ask him to save me. But he saved me then. When that happened that night, I was saved. But I didn't even understand that until later. Because then I realized all this stuff in the world. Once I started realizing that, it was all real. Then I was like, oh my God. I got it back about when that happened. And I was like, oh, well, he saved me way before I ever knew I was saved. I didn't have to ask even. He came to me and showed me, or whatever. I don't know what, why it was the devil, okay, literally fighting for my soul that night. It was him versus the devil, Lucifer, or whatever you want to call him, fighting for my soul. And I had to cry out to Jesus to say, I cried out over and over in my mind. I don't know if it was out loud or whatever. Save me. But yet, I didn't even realize then that I was sick. I was sick. Now, I didn't know that for months, years. Actually, it was like 2 or 3 years later before I figured it all out. That's how incredible that is. But that's a true story. I mean, it's true. God saved me before I ever asked him to save me. He came for me and brought the dark side right above my head to save my butt from going to hell. And I truly believe that because there's no reason why I would ever saw that. Like I said, I never wasn't watching movies. I wasn't involved in anything to do with any of that. I was just partying it up and going to work and, doing my thing and, you know what I mean? Working on cars and I had my own world going on. Well, I didn't have anything that would influence me to see something. That's why I know that was divine because I didn't ask for any of that. I didn't even see any. It wasn't like I was watching, like I said, movies. Nothing. It just happened out of the blue, clear air. I mean, it just happened, and I didn't think anything about it. And that was stupid. I should have realized. Holy crap! What just happened? Why? How did this happen? Jesus is fighting over my head, over my soul. Fighting. I know he's fighting for my soul in this vision dream. It was for my soul to save me from Satan, which is trying to get me, and he's right there trying to get me. And he wants my soul. That was crazy. And then about maybe a year later, I really started to wake up. That's when I started to figure out about 9/11, about, all this stuff. And I started to wake up. You know where that led me? Straight to Jesus. I went all the way from the top to the bottom. I went all the way to the bottom. I know. Listen, I mean, you figure it out, all right? I went from not believing in nothing, almost, to believing in something, and then to believing in, wow, this is all incredible. It's real. Now I believe, oh. So that was a big change. But I went from top to the bottom, and weird.
This is in my stream.
So, I mean, I know you know that I'm telling you the truth, too. Whatever went through me that time, that was something for real. That wasn't no joke. It went through me. And whatever it was.
Oh, I know.
It went through my body. Through my stomach. And it changed me when that happened. It went through me. Literally went. I can't even explain. It just went. Whatever it was something. Was something supernatural. It wasn't of this world. There's no way it could be. So when it happened, I was like, well, that actually, at the time when I was younger, I was like 16 or 17 when that happened. When that happened, I was young, and it went through my body, literally. And I think it was the Holy Ghost, or maybe, I don't know what it was. You know what I mean? Spirit angel. I don't know what it was. But I was freaked out about it. It really freaked me out because I was sitting in church. I'm not a churchgoer, okay? I was only doing it to please my girlfriend at the time, to go. And I didn't have any faith in anything. I thought it was just a joke. I was like, all right, I'll just go get over it. Whatever that was that went through me was for real. It was and went through. Not a joke at all. I went there because I knew the pastor that I used to help him where my job I worked at. I took care of him. He was disabled. He would show up and I would go and get his gas, check his oil, put oil in his van and make sure his tires had enough air and all that kind of stuff. I did all that. But he never asked me to come to his church, really. He just showed me who he was. And I went there and that happened. That was before the incident of when I was sleeping. So I wasn't sleeping when I was in church when something went through me. I was asleep. I was not. Okay. So people can say, well, you were daydreaming. No, I wasn't. I was awake. I was sitting in that church, in the front row of that church. And he said something about bowing your head and accepting something. I don't know what he said exactly. I can't remember. Into your heart or something. I can't remember what it was. All I know is that's what I did. I just gave up on everything else in the world. And you know what? The funniest thing is, this thing came through me, and I swear to you on my life. I swear. I would not lie. It came through my body. It came through my stomach. Power. Whatever it was, that went through me was incredibly powerful. I don't know what it was. I can't answer that question, but I can tell you personally, I swear on my God that it did happen. It happened. And it went through me, but I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. But whatever it was so powerful that it moved me. It changed me. it, whatever it was, went through me. It was so crazy that I actually experienced that. I never thought I would ever experience something like that, but it was incredible. And the power of this stuff is crazy. So people don't believe in that stuff. No, it's real. It is real. It is real. And I don't want to tell nobody any false things. I will never do that. I know I'm not that kind of person. I swear to you. I swear to God. I swear to God. Whatever went through me that day was something. I mean, it was something important. It was way more important than anything else I can think of. It was so incredible. But I never experienced that again. But it did happen to me at that time. It absolutely. Absolutely. And I had the other experience, which was absolutely real too. Jesus was there. I mean, that was Jesus and the devil were fighting over my soul that night. I mean, literally. But, I mean, that was maybe a vision or maybe something different. But when I was in church, when the thing went through my stomach, that was undeniable. It's nothing you can flush away or excuse. That was not something you can, say was a fluke. That was no fluke. That was for real. And I didn't even go to God then. I didn't even start reading the Bible or nothing until later. Once I figured out, oh, shit, all this stuff is real. I mean, the whole thing, the Illuminati, the secret societies, everything else. When I started figuring out all that stuff, that's when I figured out, oh, I read this before. Where did I hear this? It's the Bible. And then I went back to that, and I'm reading that and going, holy crap. It is the exact, it's that. People may not believe that, but it is. It's not a joke. The Bible is real. It's not, they're telling us, either they're following the Bible, right? Either they're following the Bible exactly to what it says, and they're doing what it says, or the Bible is actually warning you of all. So it's either one of the two. It has to be, because they follow it. So far, it's following everything the Bible's saying. So it's one of the two things to me. It's like, all right, either the evil ones or whoever are following Scripture exactly as the Bible preaches, or we've been warned of exactly what's coming, and they're following a different playbook, but yet it relates to the same book, relates to the same messages, same thing they're telling you is coming. You know what I mean? It's complicated.
It is.
I just want people to understand the difference between those things. And what my personal testimony is, that's just my personal testimony. But hey, if people can listen to what happened to me, my personal life, and what happened, and how it played out, God saved me. I mean, He saved me. He really, truly saved me. So that's amazing. That dream happened, or whatever it was definitely about my soul. And my soul was saved. I cried out to Jesus to save me. That was done and over with, but yet I still wasn't saved. I don't believe. Maybe I was, but I don't think I was, because I really didn't have faith in really what He had done for me. So it took a while for me to figure that out. But then when I figured it all out, I figured out how all this related to biblical aspects of reality. Then I started to really go, okay, now I understand. I understand. This is all biblical. These guys, I don't have much control. I can fight back, which I will do. I will fight back. All the evil in the world. There's only so much you can do. When I realized that, I just gave the faith, gave it over to him. So I'm just trying to give it over to him. I know what's going to happen. I think eventually. So I'm just doing that. But a lot of people just don't have any love in their hearts. They just don't have love in their hearts. They have no love. And people need love because that's what God wants is love. That's what whenever that thing went through me that night, I left there and went going to doing whatever I was doing. Okay, I didn't. That's the funniest thing about it. Is how powerful that was. It didn't change me from going out partying or whatever, hanging out with my buddies and all that. Right? It didn't change that. Even though it should have. As powerful as it was, it should have changed everything. My complete outlook on everything should have been changed, but it wasn't. But see, now I realize that it did do that. It just took a while. Because now I realize exactly what that was about. He was telling me everything. He showed me pretty much what it was. He came through me. That was real. That was real. Absolutely. So when people tell you maybe they died or something and went to heaven or saw heaven and stuff like that, testimony of people, well, that's their testimony. My testimony is that, hey, he visited, he came to me, he was right over my head, fighting over my soul with the damn devil, and he won. And I didn't even know or appreciate the fact that he saved me at that time. So until later, and now I realize all that. So it's later. So that's weird, right? But I should have realized it then, but I didn't. See, God works in mysterious ways. Really ways. Really does. He woke me up to the world. He showed me, he saved me. He brought my soul out of wherever I was. I was going to be burning up in heaven, or in hell. Actually, I was going to be there, but he saved me, so now I'm good, and I believe that. And a lot of people aren't going to be there, though. That's the problem. Not going to make it. Like you said. Path is wide, gate is narrow. Therefore, not many will make it through the gate into heaven. Many will make it to the gates of heaven, or they'll make it that far, but they won't enter heaven. That's the thing. So, and that's what it talks about. It's so clear to me, so clear. And he's gonna tell you he never knew you because you never knew him. So you're gonna tell him. They're gonna tell him, well, all these wonderful works. I did all these wonderful works in your name. Lord, Lord. And you know what he's gonna tell you? I never knew you because you didn't do that. It wasn't for him. It was for your benefit. You don't do it for that. He's going to tell you, depart from me, I never knew you. That's what he's going to tell you. It's what it tells you in the Bible. And if you believe in that, which I do, he's going to tell you, I never knew you. So depart from me in iniquity. Because your works aren't going to get you to heaven. It's not your works that get you to heaven. It's your faith. That he saved you. It's your grace that gets you to heaven. So when all them people go, and like you said, he's not going to know you. Now he's going to tell you to depart from him. So that's what's going to happen. It's amazing that that's what's going to happen, but that's probably that's what's going to happen. But anyway, all right. Well, I've been on here way too long. Way too long. I just get rolling on the gospel, and people need to wake up to it and need to understand it. He gave you all of us a gift, and we need to be able to accept that gift. And if we can't accept it, we're out. We're not going to make it. So you have to accept the gift of grace, and the gift that He gave us all, which He sacrificed Himself, His Son, Himself for, really. So until people really get that through their heads and understanding, I hope that everybody can wrap that around there a little bit, understanding. We just have to do that. We're saved by faith. We're saved by believing in what Jesus Christ did for you. You're not saved by your works, man. You're not saved by going to church. You're not saved by being baptized. You're not saved by any of that stuff. You're saved by believing in Jesus Christ. There's your salvation. Once you do that, you're saved. And you know what? Once you do that, you're saved forever. Because no man will pluck. No man will pluck you out of his hand. You are saved forever. It's done. It's over. You commit to Jesus. You give your heart to Him and your life to Him. And turn it over. You're not going to go nowhere else but to heaven. So people who maybe think I'm crazy or something and don't understand that stuff, you give your life over, you just saved yourself. Because He gave you salvation. He gave you the gift. All you do is you have to accept it. And most people can't accept that gift for some damn reason. I don't know why. Let's say, take the gift of salvation. Save yourself. Believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. Yeshua, whatever you want to say. Doesn't matter. Believe in that. Believe in what He did. What He did for all of us was He saved us all from our sins so that you can be saved and enter the gates of heaven. Amen. Just remember that. Think about it. Anybody out there who is an atheist or a non-believer, you need to think about what I just said. Do it over and over. Think about it. How are you going to get saved? Where are you going to go? Do you believe we just came from apes or something? No. Do you believe apes, created us or something? Alien? Come on, guys. Gals. God's real. It is real. This is a battle. Good versus evil. We need to embrace that and understand it. Fight it. We are on the good side. We are going to stick with it. We are going to punish people. Eventually, we'll get punished. On the dark side, let's get us a little reprieve going on here where we can, people can live a little bit. We need to fight back. He does talk about that in the Bible. We can get a little reprieve. We can do that. I don't know what the time, the date, the hour, and all that stuff, when all is going to end, but I can give you a little bit of, let's fight. So don't back off and be a bunch of wimps. Let's fight. All right. Well, I'm going to bail out of here. No one's watching. I love you guys. I really, truly do. I love you. I love everybody in the chat. I love everybody sharing. I mean, it's good people. Honestly, we got Trevor, we got Randy, we got it's good people, man. Pockets, memes. I love you guys. I realize that. Anyway, all right. Love you guys. Gonna head out. Peace out.